Alright guys, a couple weeks ago I put up a poll on my channel wondering how many people wanted to see a Black Adam DC character history video, and a lot of you wanted to see it, so here we are today, going to be talking about Black Adam. Now, of course, I'm mainly doing this because the Black Adam movie is just a couple weeks away, and time permitting, if I am capable of fitting all these characters in before the movie releases, I'm going to try and do character history videos for everybody else in the film, like Atom Smasher, Dr. Fate, Cyclone, and whoever else might be in there. But as for Black Adam, this is going to be a character that many people are going to talk about over the next couple of months. Dwayne Johnson is finally bringing this character to the big screen for the first time, and in his own movie. Whether or not this movie ends up being really good is up for debate, but I think the one thing that isn't up for debate is the fact that Dwayne Johnson himself has been so dedicated to this character and to this role. He's doing everything he can to make sure people are going to enjoy this movie. Now, as for Black Adam, he has acquired the powers and the abilities of the Wizard Shazam far before Shazam, or Captain Marvel if you will, has himself. Black Adam is a dark and violent protector of Khandaq. Not afraid to kill and use extreme and somewhat unnecessary force is what makes Black Adam dangerous to heroes and extremely dangerous to other villains. Whether he's acting as an outright villain or an anti-hero, there are not many people who can stand toe-to-toe with the ruler of Khandaq. Black Adam's history is very large, there's a lot to talk about, so there are a couple of storylines that I did need to cut out, but in this video I'm going to tell you as much as you need to know about the character so you can be prepared for the film if you don't know much about him in the first place. Just like all my DC character history videos, before we actually get into his storylines, let's look at some of his data. So the first debut of Black Adam was the Marvel Family Volume 1, Issue number 1 in December 1945. His real name is Theo Adam, his base is Khandaq, his height is 6'3", his weight is 250 pounds, his eyes are brown and hair is black. His powers and abilities are things like immortality, super speed, strength, endurance, invulnerability, flight, teleportation, self-healing and healing of others, magically enhanced abilities and intellect, and so much more. His allies are people like Lex Luthor, the Injustice League, Council of Eternity, and Isis, and his enemies are Shazam, Justice Society of America, Justice League, and the Four Horsemen. Now, usually when I talk about the character of Billy Batson, I usually refer to him as Shazam, but because I don't want to make things too confusing, whenever I talk about Billy Batson in this video, I'm going to be calling him Captain Marvel, considering that is technically his name. Whenever you hear me use the name Shazam, that's usually going to be me talking about the wizard Shazam, the old man who gives everyone their abilities, just so there's no confusion. Fawcett Comics. So before DC, the entire Marvel family and all of its characters were owned by Fawcett's publication company. Black Adam was only introduced one time as an evil counterpart to Shazam, and as mentioned recently, was introduced in issue number 1, but when bought by DC, that issue was reprinted in DC's Shazam issue number 8 in 1973, which led to a revival of the character. In the Bronze Age, Black Adam was an Egyptian prince named Theo Adam 5,000 years ago. The wizard Shazam chose Adam as his successor and granted him his abilities. Whereas these powers made someone like Billy Batson a better person, Theo Adam became corrupted. Adam would then overthrow the pharaoh, take the throne, and decide that not only Egypt will be his conquest, but the entire world as well. Angry at his actions but unable to take his powers away, Wizard Shazam casts Black Adam from Earth and sends him to the farthest star in the known universe. Black Adam would then spend 5,000 years flying back to Earth, and when he finally comes back, Earth now has 3 other champions with the powers and abilities of Shazam: Captain Marvel, Mary Marvel, and Captain Marvel Jr. Fighting the 3 new champions as they are threats to Adam, the fight goes on without any end in sight, considering they all have very similar powers and are all invulnerable. With the fighting not ceasing, they trick Black Adam into saying the words Shazam, which results in Black Adam returning to his normal form from 5,000 years ago. Time and excessive age catch up with him, which leaves him dead and as a pile of bones. Black Adam's revival. So 30 years later, when DC did buy Fawcett in the 70s, Black Adam returns. Dr. Savannah, which many of you will be familiar with from the first Shazam film, the main villain, uses a reincarnation machine to bring Black Adam to life. Black Adam decides to go to the Rock of Eternity to kill Wizard Shazam, but ends up getting teleported with Captain Marvel to the year 1776, where they have another long-awaited battle. Over the years, Black Adam would have many run-ins with the Marvel family and would regularly get bested by Captain Marvel. He would try his hand joining other supervillain groups and would fight different Justice League teams, and that wouldn't work out any better for him either. The last time you see Black Adam before the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths, he is taking advantage of the insanity and chaos caused by the Anti-Monitor, just like some other villains were doing. During this time, he was fighting multiple heroes from Earth 4. The Teen Titan Cole ends up beating him and turning him into solid crystal. The Power of Shazam. After Crisis on Infinite Earths, when everyone is getting their reintroduction, Black Adam is brought back later in 1994. In this continuity, Teth Adam was born September 11th, 1279, and was the son of the Egyptian pharaoh Ramses II. Impressing Wizard Shazam with his good and wholesome traits, he wants to give him the powers of Shazam, but before he could, Wizard Shazam's demon daughter Blaze made a deal with an Egyptian god named Set. Because of this, Black Adam is granted very similar powers, but they do not derive from the Wizard Shazam. Adam served as Egypt's champion for hundreds of years, but was eventually thrown down a darker path when an evil priest named Aktun destroyed his home and murdered Adam's family. After this, Adam chooses to kill Aktun for what he did to his family, and this becomes a point of no return for Adam. A corruption by a mysterious woman has caught his attention. This mysterious woman was Blaze in disguise. Convincing Black Adam to rule Khandaq himself, Adam kills the pharaoh of that time and claims the throne for himself. Wizard Shazam learns of this and encases his powers in a mystical scarab necklace. Now returning to his regular self, his body withers away due to extreme old age, and Teth Adam passes away. Wizard Shazam then places the necklace and Adam's body in the tomb of Ramses II, his father. Theo Adam. Nearly 1,000 years later in the 20th century, Billy Batson's parents were set on an excavation dig, financed by Dr. Savannah and aided by the conveniently placed hand of Theo Adam, a long descendant of Teth Adam, Black Adam himself. During the dig of Ramses II's tomb, they found the scarab necklace housing the powers of Black Adam. Theo Adam's obsession with the artifact ran so deep that he killed the Batsons, took the scarab, and returned to America. Wizard Shazam had to appoint a new champion at this time, the boy who just lost his parents. Billy Batson becomes Shazam. When Theo first encounters Captain Marvel, he notices the resemblance to C.C. Batson, the father to Billy who he killed in the excavation site. Noticing that Captain Marvel also has a lightning bolt across the chest, Theo takes the scarab necklace, speaks the word Shazam, and transforms into Black Adam. Admitting to being the killer of Billy's parents, the two have an extensive battle in which Captain Marvel wins by taking the necklace away from Black Adam. Black Adam then spends the next 4 years in prison with the Wizard Shazam, destroying the scarab necklace and rendering him mute as he can never say the word Shazam again. This, of course, doesn't last, as the demon Blaze came back to torment her father with the assistance of Black Adam. Giving his speech and abilities back, Black Adam actually chooses to turn against Blaze in the last moments. Black Adam and Theo Adam are then split into two entities, with Black Adam retaining all of his memories from his early life nearly 1,000 years ago. Khandaq's ruler. After having an on-again, off-again relationship with the JSA, Black Adam and Atom Smasher, who we will see in the upcoming film, leave the JSA due to differences on how lethal the team is, or in their case, isn't being. Black Adam decides to create a team of his own, which includes both heroes and villains. People like Atom Smasher, Brainwave, Northwind, Nemesis, and Eclipso. Together, under the leadership of Black Adam, they look towards Khandaq, which is ruled by a dictator whose actions have apparently gone unnoticed from the United Nations. Taking matters into his own hands, Black Adam, his new superhero team, and the people of Khandaq lead a rebellion. Although to make matters more difficult, the JSA involve themselves to fight Black Adam and his new team. During this battle, Atom Smasher does end up killing the ruler of Khandaq, and by the end of the story, Black Adam is left to be the ruler of Khandaq, just as he always wanted. Even though Black Adam's arrogance persisted, he did rule Khandaq with an intense focus on keeping his people safe. Black Adam and Isis. Now, before I get into these storylines here, I just want to let everyone know, if you do want to know more about the Isis character, you can go to my Isis video, and I have everything about her detailed over there. In 2006, DC introduced a new weekly line of comics called 52. During Black Adam's time as ruler of Khandaq, he demonstrated how ruthless and protective he is of his city, when he decided to kill several supervillains on live television. The secret cult of Darkseid, the Intergang that hid on Earth, required a temporary base of operations, and Black Adam allowed them to conduct their business in Khandaq for a short time. To show their thanks, the Intergang offered Black Adam their finest and most beautiful slave, Adriana Tomaz. Well, considering how ruthless Black Adam posed himself on TV, you can imagine what happens here. He obviously accepts the Intergang's gifts and also kills their leader by ripping his face off. Without repeating too much of myself from the Isis character history video, Black Adam and Adriana fall in love, and she teaches him not to just use his abilities to protect Khandaq, but to also inspire the people. And so after this, Black Adam uses a magical amulet to give Adriana powers of her own, creating her into the new goddess known as Isis. And Black Adam and Isis do end up getting married. The fourth horseman. Black Adam's brother-in-law, or Isis's brother, Osiris, befriends a talking crocodile named Sobek. Sobek returned to Khandaq with Osiris and joined the what's now called Black Marvel family. This addition to the family wouldn't be good, as Black Adam quickly discovers that Sobek is actually the fourth horseman of the apocalypse, known as Famine. Sobek caused a massive blight that quickly spread across Khandaq. Sobek also savagely turned on Osiris and bit him in half, and even ate some of his remains. With the other horsemen showing up in Khandaq for battle, Isis is the next to go. Just before Adam kills Pestilence, Isis is poisoned, and with her dying words, she tells Adam to take vengeance and that she was wrong to change his viewpoints on justice. World War III. Black Adam holds a memorial for his family before going on a brutal rampage. With 3 of the 4 horsemen dead and Death still on the loose, he must find him. Black Adam ventures to the Intergang associated nation of Bialya. With over 2 million people living there, Black Adam begins to annihilate the entire population in search for Death. Finally finding Death, who has been feeding on the slaughter left from Black Adam, the two begin to fight. Even with how powerful Death has become, Black Adam still ends up victorious by using an overwhelming force of mystical lightning. Adam would go on to torture Death for an entire day and would end up learning that the creation of the 4 horsemen were commissioned by a group in Oolong Island, China, by a group of mad scientists called the Science Squad. That just sounds like a really bad high school club nickname. Ripping through the Science Squad's base defenses, Black Adam is eventually met with technology that leaves him trapped in his own mind. Dr. Savannah, who, of course, part of this threat, tortures Black Adam for weeks, which only leaves Adam getting angrier and more powerful. The Science Squad eventually makes an announcement worldwide to sell Black Adam to the highest bidder and to be used as a weapon of mass destruction. The JSA sees this and they decide to assault Oolong Island to liberate Black Adam. This, of course, doesn't go as well as it could have. In all of his anger, Black Adam refuses to bring himself to justice for the complete destruction of Bialya, and he proceeds to ravage major cities and countries across the world, destroying many historical and ancient places and structures. Through this World War III event, many heroes around the world try to stop him, but it all proves unsuccessful. The JSA, Doom Patrol, Teen Titans, and even a Chinese group of heroes called the Great 10 all fail to stop him. Captain Marvel, the best man for the job, enters the picture. He tries to reason with the Egyptian gods to see if they could detain Black Adam, but instead is met with laughter. The Egyptian gods actually approve of what Black Adam is doing. Needing to take this into his own hands, Captain Marvel asks Zatanna for help to form a spell that could help him change Black Adam back to his human form and to change the word Shazam, which is the magical word that gives them these powers. That way Adam would have no idea what word he would need to use. After a long and tough battle and the assistance from Zatanna for the spell and Green Lantern and Power Girl to restrain him, Black Adam is finally transformed back to his human self. A powerless and mortal Adam was left wandering the Middle East, searching for the new magical word to retrieve his powers. Resurrecting Isis. This is another really big storyline that you can learn more from in my actual Isis video. Sometime later, with the few loyal servants Black Adam had remaining, Adam sneaks into Khandaq. He gets his men to brutally beat him so he looks disguised as a different person. Adam sneaks into the tomb of Isis to retrieve her remains. Knowing of a Himalayan cave with a Lazarus pit, Black Adam ventures off to revive Isis. After bringing Isis back to life, it's realized that the Lazarus pit's powers are not capable of making Isis any more than a decaying dead body. So, understanding that this is no value of life, Adam needs to kill her. Adam now decides to try Plan B, taking Isis to the Tower of Fate and asking Dr. Fate to find the amulet of Isis in hopes that will revive her back to complete health. When getting there, this is the twist. Dr. Fate is nowhere to be found, and it is instead Felix Faust, a villainous and conniving sorcerer. Once again, watch my Isis video to learn more about him. For his own reasons, Felix Faust imbues Adam with a spell derived from Isis's bones. With the power that still resides in her remnants, the magic allows Adam to once again turn into Black Adam. With his abilities back, Black Adam learns that Captain Marvel Jr. and Mary Marvel broke Isis's amulet into multiple pieces and hid them in different places. To get all the pieces, Adam has to go to Fawcett City, the home of the Marvel family, and here is where Adam finally learns the new magical word to grant their powers, and the new phrase is chocolate egg cream. Not surprising since Billy is a kid and he would have obviously found this funny. With Black Adam's powers back to full capacity after saying the phrase, and with all the amulet pieces, he returns to Dr. Fate's tower to get Felix to resurrect Isis. The resurrection of Isis fails because Felix claims that Black Adam used the magic within her bones too much, to the point where she is not capable of coming back to life. With Black Adam's disappointment, he flies away and hides in the former Khandakian embassy in Gotham City, but Felix Faust lied. The bones he demonstrated the spell on in front of Black Adam was not Isis's bones, they were someone else's. When Black Adam left, Felix performed the spell on Isis, rendering a successful resurrection, and Isis is now under the control of Faust. The battle for the Rock of Eternity. Isis is eventually capable of using a spell to create a trail for Black Adam to follow and save her from Faust. After liberating Isis from Faust, Black Adam and Isis travel to the Rock of Eternity, where Billy Batson is currently the Wizard Shazam. Black Adam and Isis fight Billy to gain control of the Rock of Eternity. Isis is attempting to use the Rock of Eternity to eradicate all of human life, as she deems human life evil. With a massive battle breaking out and the JSA arriving to help Billy Batson, they find themselves getting teleported and fighting in the middle of Khandaq. In their return, the people are happy to see Black Adam, their protector, returned. Isis kills some of these people, and now Black Adam begins to see her corruption. In all the fighting and commotion, the old Wizard Shazam is stuck in a statue back at the Rock of Eternity, where he convinces Black Adam to surrender his powers to stop this madness and save Isis from her evil. With the original Wizard Shazam returning and upset with the misuse of these powers, he also strips Billy, Mary, and Isis of their abilities, but goes one step further with Adam and Isis by turning them into statues. They are finally together again, unmovable in the middle of Khandaq. New 52. In this new continuity, Adam is still an ancient Egyptian, but this time he is a slave rather than being in a place of royalty like he has been before. Adam and his nephew Amon were enslaved and imprisoned. While escaping their imprisonment, Adam is severely wounded. Escaping the prison, they are magically teleported to the Rock of Eternity and met by the Wizard Shazam. The Wizard Shazam offers the magical powers to Amon as he is pure of heart, but Amon will only accept it if the Wizard Shazam heals Adam from his injuries. The Wizard Shazam accepts and also tells Amon that the power of Shazam can be split between family, meaning he can share his powers with Adam. Returning to Khandaq, Adam and Amon discuss how they should handle the dictator leadership in Egypt. Amon thinks they should settle it in peace, and Adam thinks they should exact revenge and eliminate them. Fearing that Amon's plan wouldn't work, Adam killed Amon and took all the power for himself. Being known forward as the Mighty Adam, he defeated the dictators of Khandaq and even put a stop to the Seven Sins, a group of villains who leached their way into Egypt during that time. Adam would even defeat an alien race called the Paulings, who attempted to come to Earth and take over the planet. Even though in myth and legend it's stated he simply disappeared, what really happened is Adam became too power hungry and sure of his abilities. Adam ventured to the Rock of Eternity with a plan to take it over himself. Adam did kill all of the members except for Wizard Shazam, who did overpower him and casted him away to the universe's farthest star, very similar to what happened in his Bronze Age origin. He would then at that point be known as Black Adam. Black Adam versus the Crime Syndicate. Black Adam in the New 52 had a lot of great moments against certain characters, people like Batman and Superman, but one of his coolest ones comes from this, the Crime Syndicate. When the Crime Syndicate of Earth 3 attacked Prime Earth, which is our Earth, Black Adam wasted no time tracking down Ultraman and attacking him in Metropolis. Even though the fight was hard fought, Ultraman emerges victorious and crushes Black Adam's jaw so he cannot say Shazam and use magic-based attacks. Black Adam was soon assisted and saved by Black Manta, Lex Luthor, Bizarro, and Captain Cold. After a small time of recovery, Black Adam and other heroes and villains make their way to the fallen Watchtower where the Crime Syndicate is operating from. Sinestro, assisting Black Adam with a reconstruction of his jaw so he can use his magical words, gets into another fight with Ultraman. During their fight, however, Mazas, the Earth 3 version of Shazam, or Captain Marvel, shows up to fight Black Adam as well. During this fight, both Black Adam and Lex Luthor defeat Mazas. Black Adam in the Sinestro Corps. After Black Adam and Sinestro grow a friendship during the crime syndicate's invasion, Sinestro visits Black Adam in Khandaq, fearing another invasion. The alien race Black Adam stopped thousands of years ago are threatening to come back. Black Adam tells Sinestro of his ancient war against the alien race, the Paulings, and how he defeated them. Adam even shows Sinestro the tomb in which he buried the leader he defeated. To Sinestro's surprise, the Pauling leader happens to be a guardian of the universe. The guardian's dead corpse jumped from the tomb and battled both Black Adam and Sinestro for a time before fleeing. In order to defeat this oncoming attack, Sinestro briefly grants Black Adam to be a yellow ring bearer, now having the powers of a lantern ring and Shazam. During this war, while Sinestro fought and would eventually beat the Guardian in space above Earth, Black Adam would lead the Sinestro Corps across Earth, defeating the Pauling army. Now moving on into Rebirth, which is a soft reboot for basically the entire DC universe. Although keep in mind that all characters in Rebirth do have memories from all continuities dating back to the Bronze Age and anything in between. In Rebirth though, Black Adam is actually revealed to have been part of an ancient group called the Council of Immortals, who also had some of the oldest members in DC a part of it, such as Hawkgirl and Vandal Savage. But without sparing too much time on the origins, moving forward into modern day, during the Doomsday Clock event, the Superman theory arose that stated the American government were actually creating superhumans, considering most super beings seem to originate from that part of the world. The theory also states that if true, America has done this to eventually take over the world. With this theory becoming mainstream, the public now start to distrust heroes and are now shunned by society. To create an army of his own, Black Adam invites any metahuman to come live and find solitary in Khandaq. Soon after, a deadly explosion in Moscow erupts, and the explosion was pinned on Firestorm. Black Adam uses this opportunity to attack the United Nations and the White House. With the metahuman population in shambles, this was Black Adam's best chance. After taking those main places, the next order of business was to remove Superman himself. Superman received help from the JSA and the Legion of Superheroes, and Black Adam with the rest of his metahuman army was defeated. Black Adam and the Justice League. Somewhat recently in Rebirth, Black Adam attempted to change his life and rediscover what Isis once told him, to protect instead of avenge. This caught the attention of Superman, who thought the League needed fresh perspective and offered a spot to Black Adam. After contemplating the offer and visiting his wife's grave, he accepted. During the Dark Crisis event, when the Justice League apparently died, Black Adam survived. Although Black Adam was not pleased that he avoided death, he wanted to die because he wished to be reunited with his love, Isis. Well, there you have it on Black Adam, and let me tell you right now, there is still so much more that can be said about this character. He's got so many more stories. There are even things I wrote down here that I simply needed to get rid of because I needed to save on time. It was becoming far too long. But overall, Black Adam's history in the DC universe is vast. And it's no doubt how powerful Black Adam is. Look, Black Adam may seem to lose a lot of battles in the comic books, but that's mainly because the villain can't win in comic books, so because of that, he's gotta lose. But I think they have the opportunity to change that in the movies, and I think another opportunity they have is to not always make Black Adam a villain. Sure, sometimes he's gotta be a villain, but sometimes he can also be a reluctant hero. And I do think that Dwayne Johnson really understands that about Black Adam, and I think that's the type of path he's going to want to take this character. character. So we've seen a lot of Black Adam in comic book history. We've seen Black Adam show up in video games, we've seen him show up in animation, but very soon he's going to be one of the few characters of DC who are going to finally show up in live action, and we'll have another iteration of the character to study, watch, and enjoy. So guys, that is it for this DC character history. I hope you all enjoyed it, and like I said, go check out the other DC character histories to learn more about other characters, especially Isis and Mary Marvel, considering they all come from the same area of DC. But that is it for this one, guys, and until next time, I will talk to you all very soon.